Let's go back to Toronto, Canada. This is a random conversation with random people I may never meet. But guess what? I do love you all. I decided to take content creation seriously this year. I mean, in 2020, I kind of started, but everything just kind of went blurry. And I stopped creating content. I deleted my videos. My YouTube stopped growing. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about today. So I learned this was made by a Ghanaian-owned company. That's amazing. Back to the topic. So we're flying business today, and because I am flying alone, I absolutely did not want to do a long flight, long transit. Like, I didn't want any of that. So I did think about visiting family. That is if my layover was more than 3 hours. But here's the catch. When you do a transit in AID, you have to pick up your luggage and recheck it. That is basically, after going through immigration, you have to take all your luggage and put it back on the conveyor belt. And that's stressful. Like, that's really stressful. This particular flight, my bags were heavy. I never got to watch Barbie, so I decided to do that on the flight. And even though it was like a 14-hour flight, that's the only movie I watched. All I did was to drink, eat, and sleep because I was really, really tired. Because I sent a lot of emails prior to the flight, I knew I wanted to eat rice with beef. So that's what I chose, and it was okay. There's so much about content creation that I need to learn. The angles. I feel like I was so good at doing some things, and now I don't even remember how to do them. And I'm hoping to learn, and I hope you will learn a thing or two from me as well. I always wanted things to be done perfectly, so until it's perfect, I never put it out there until I feel like this is 100. I would never put it out there. And I guess that's a good thing to some extent, but it's also one thing that limits you as a person a lot. And I'm hoping that this year that would not be a limitation for me. This breakfast was absolutely amazing. I loved it. It was so good. And so because of it, I was quite full. Anyway, so let's get back to whatever details I have about this flight. So after you put your stuff on the conveyor belt, you have to go through the TSA checks again. And as I said, this particular flight, for some, fully booked, I believe. And there were several flights, like arrivals. And I think this was because it was a little over New Year's. So people were still, flying back from their home countries, from vacations and what have you. Anyway, so after TSA check, the queue was crazy, and I thought I was going to miss my flight, but thankfully I didn't. So I went to the Polaris lounge, and I just wanted water. As I said, I was so full from the breakfast on the flight. I went to freshen up a bit. And honestly, I just had like 30 minutes to spare. So yeah, I just refreshed and then relaxed, and I think that was about it. So this is a view of what the lounge looks like. I didn't go to every part of it, so maybe next time I will do like a more detailed video. But yeah, so I just wanted to say that I don't know, maybe there are people who are like me and wanting to get back into content creation, and maybe they have this tiny voice in their head that keeps telling them, don't do it. I think you should. Cheers to saying no to the voice in my head that keeps telling me it's not perfect enough. And here's to new content, breaking boundaries, and exploring new things. I hope you enjoyed this, and see you soon in my next vlog.